I guess we're ready.
Lunch with Leah, episode 313.
We've expanded our production team. We have an announcer now. Hi, everybody. It's Lunch with Leah, noon on Wednesday. Happy tea to everybody from Texas. Let me see how I look. Fabulous. Oh, my God. Well, let's see what's going on. Well, what's going on? Well, I don't know if you guys watched, we're going to have to get into later, the fires, the recount, oh my God, there's so much going on. There was a sniper downtown in Miami today, or a bomb threat, they don't know which yet, near Roy's office in his building. He told everybody not to leave the building because the traffic was so bad and he didn't want anybody out on the streets. There's so much chaos between the fires, the recount, the slaughtering with the guns, the snipers and the bomb scares to the press and the mail. It's just too much. So we're going to lighten your day. We'll have to cover some of it, but we're going to try to have a little more fun first. But today, you know, you get these news flashes. I get a news flash from everybody. So one of the news, I think it was CNN. It might have been CNN. Ooh, what was that? Oh, my makeup fell over there. Whatever. Oh, God, I thought we were having a bomb scare.
It's a sniper.
It's scaring me.
The sniper's after us. So my news thing goes buzzing off, you know, alert. So first thing I read it, I'm like, oh, my God, hold your breath. They were saying all the stress and all the things that are going on, that what we recommend for people to do when they get all this stress to relax is to just go out and do some bird watching. Oh, my God. Okay, well, when I get stressed, I'm going to go out there and sit in that lawn chair by the pool here and watch the birds. Let me give myself some binoculars. That'll do it. That'll keep me, I won't be stressed out after that. Oh, Lord, the remedies. Well, so last night I was on Flipping Out, and honestly I had forgotten, and someone tweeted me and said, oh, I see you're going to be on Flipping Out. And so anyway, I'll talk about that a little bit later, too. Then they show, well, first of all, they showed this clip for next week on Flipping Out, and it looked like I was laughing hysterical while someone in the back was crying hysterical, but it wasn't that way. We were all laughing hysterical, and then there was an episode where they were crying, so I guess they just put it together so fast that it kind of appeared that way, but you know, what do I care? I mean, maybe look however you want. I have a bone in the fight. It's not going to work out that way, you'll see. And then I'm going to be on Jeff's radio show the Friday after Thanksgiving. So if you guys want to hear all the gossip about the finale of Flipping Out, which will be next Tuesday night, then you should tune in Friday on the radio show after Thanksgiving, and you'll hear all the gossip. And then Brendan calls me last night. He goes, my phone is lighting up. Did you talk about me on Flipping Out? You know Brendan from me?
Yeah, you did. You were trying to hook him up.
Oh, actually I did. I was saying what a cute couple you would make with Tyler, who I adore.
And then you got schooled.
And then I got a 101 class in gay. I mean, who knew? I'm going to be honest with you. I never knew any of this. I was like, what are you talking about? You have to be compatible. Then they started to explain, and then they didn't put that in, thank God. But who knew all that? If you're not gay and you don't know, don't ask me for the education, but go talk to somebody that's gay. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I think they're going to have to start filling out a questionnaire, you know, or just have a code for, you know, it's just too much. I'm not going to get into it.
Tyler looks so uncomfortable.
Too much information. Anyway, but they are good friends now. I mean, they met, they're close friends, but anyway, they're just friends. All right. Let's see. And then, what else? Oh, what have I been doing here? Well, you won't believe it. Remember we bought that big, gorgeous table, that wooden table I had in the office upstairs? Then I brought the conference room table from Roy's office and put it in the room upstairs, and I moved that outside in the porch under the awning. And I went out there the other day, and I was like, this wood is not holding up. So I made him put it in Roy's office yesterday. So I was like the housekeeper running around like an idiot, but we put that whole thing, took it apart, put it together back upstairs, and it looked so much better in that office. You remember that big heavy desk that you liked?
It was a beautiful time.
Gorgeous. It's getting ruined outside. Do you think amongst the 17 people that work at my house, one person would say, you know, I think the wood is starting to wear and it's corroding under that awning. Maybe you should store it, give it away, sell it, put it in the house. No, not one thing. Not one person. person. So I just happened to walk out there, and then I found those, what do those guys call that for Christmas that they have the little hats on and everybody wants them?
Like the gnomes?
The Christmas gnomes?
No, the guys, the soldiers, the toy soldier thing.
Yes, you're talking about
Nutcracker.
The Nutcrackers.
Did you call Dorinda to get you one?
Yeah, I called her up. So I had 2 of those in storage. So when I went to get all the Christmas ornaments out, because I haven't done a tree here, because we used to do those 22-foot trees, and we had to rent a scaffold and get a team of people to put it up and then put all the lights on it, and then I had designed it exactly with everything how we wanted it, and we photographed it every year to get it exactly right. So I didn't do that the last 2 or 3 years. It's just too much work. So I figured, I'm going to put a tree up in LA at the house there, now that I have a bigger house. So I went out to the storage and which we have on the property, and I got all the gold ornaments. I was going to just do it in gold, because Jeff will freak out if it's got any color to it at all. I tell him I'm going to paint Gage gray and Monroe gray. If you notice, everything is gray. Nope, got to have a gray. I think we should have a gray floor. Well, let's get the gray. It's all gray. So I'm going to do gold because I have some gold accents in the house. But anyway, while I was out there, I saw these nutcrackers. So I brought them in the house. He looked really gorgeous in front of the pillars and going into the room. So anyway, I did that, and that was what I did yesterday.
He was making everything gray last night. He didn't like your Versace chairs. He was making the other client's house gray.
He liked that. Okay, pay attention. Go
I
back.
noticed last night.
10 years.
Like 4 comments
he
on gray last night.
He wanted to paint his grandmother's house gray, and she wouldn't have it. He likes that gray.
Because gray goes with everything.
It goes with that. It's an easy, and I like color. Like my house here has a lot of color in it, and it's a bold color, and it's brilliant colors, and I like color. But anyway, remember that fabric I took to LA? I wanted Jason. We went to the warehouse and we got that tweed. It was gorgeous. It was gold and
it was beautiful.
Beautiful. What was that? Like a salmon and gold tweed with, and it was gorgeous.
It had like a bit of a
that
luster to
fabric
it,
that he
like a
talked
silk
me
luster.
into, is exactly the same fabric in gray.
The
With gray sparkles. And I just didn't want to fight. I was like, okay, because he won't know what to do if I put color in. So those Versace stools that I love, James, they're so gorgeous. They're so simple, lean. You see through them. You're hardly there, but they have that little bit of white with the gold. What do you call that? The gold Medusa design on it, and on the back, they're so elegant. I wasn't going to buy them anyway because they're $4,500 each, and I would have needed to buy 4 to be almost like $18,000. So I wasn't going to buy them anyway, but I just thought, they're so gorgeous, I know. I'm going to see what Jeff says, and did you see how fast he poo-pooed?
No, I was like, he hadn't had that look since he went to.
He poo-pooed him so fast.
Since he went to Jackie's house.
Yeah.
That was the last time he had that look.
The house is very elegantly contemporary,
No, it
and
is.
just a touch of nostalgia would only make the house fabulous. And I had those Versace pillows in there, and he took them out too and put them in the closet.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a lot of comments. People were saying that you looked great last night.
Oh, God, I look like the housekeeper, because when I go there, I was just working.
I thought it was interesting.
I was just working.
You were in T-shirt and jeans for
You know
the
what?
one
I
scene.
don't dress like that all the time, but when I'm doing the stuff at the house, like yesterday, and the stuff at the house in LA, I just don't feel like dolling it up. I just go in my rags. I don't care. What do I care?
Yeah, everyone says that they like Versace too, and
It was so gorgeous.
yeah, Nancy C. Carver said, "Yay, gold makes her happy," and Marcella Bernardi says Leah needs to be cast on Flipping Out.
I don't even know if they're going to have another rolling out.
I know.
Oh my God. Oh, Brendan came up with the name of a show. He goes, you and Jeff should do a show called, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. Because
Exactly.
It's such
Don't tell anybody.
A brilliant name that Jeff should do that show on his own, with or without me or without anybody. It's the perfect name for him.
Well, don't say
And I'm
it.
not going to, I'll tell you after the thing, but it's the perfect name that Brendan came out with. Anyway, so I'm going to be in LA next week, so you'll miss us, but you can go on demand and catch all the previous episodes for the last couple of years, and nothing changes. It's just a soap opera, different day, different gossip, different laugh, different giggle, different story. And then the week after Thanksgiving, I'll be right back here, noon Wednesdays. But by the way, I'll probably do some Facebook Live stuff with Julie and Brandy. They're going to come to the house on Tuesday and do a photo shoot for something they want to do. I don't know what it's going to be. I just made a mistake of saying, listen, what do you need? I got ball gowns. I've got boas. I've got jewelry. What do you need? I I've done 1,000 photo shoots in my life. I got every prop you need. And then Ronnie's going to come. I'll probably do some Facebook Live with Ronnie. I'm going to have dinner with, well, I don't want to say because maybe everybody won't be invited. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But anyway, I'm going to see some fabulous people next week in LA. And then also tomorrow, we have our Canadian distributor coming, Jason. Don't forget that. I wrote that down to tell you. And then we'll talk about the blue wave that's turning into be a tsunami soon. Yeah. But before we get into that, these fires. I can't. I've called every day out there, and I finally got a hold of Heather because she lives in Thousand Oaks. They're okay, but the son's school is shut down for the week. Then Pepperdine University put out a thing that they had all their students stay in their fireproof campus because they didn't want hundreds of more kids on the freeway. And they got criticism for that because the people were saying, but the thing is, we needed those resources and those fire people and so on fighting for everybody, not just the campus. But the campus said, look, if you can show us a better way to do it, we'll do it. But if we have fireproof facilities here and we don't have to put 100 or 200 kids on the freeway, I think it was a smart move. And they've been preparing for this for 20 years apparently, these fires. So Pepperdine, they've got water, they've got it all covered. So Ben's RJ applied for school out there. That made me feel a little better, but it was just, it just can't. And then you go through the list of celebrities. Camille Grammer tweeted that she lost her house. Miley Cyrus and Liam, what's his name? They lost Hemsworth. They lost their house. Gerard Butler says he lost 80% of his house. It's over. His house is done. And so forget the celebrities. Those are people that are just bringing attention to it. And by the way, Miley Cyrus and her boyfriend donated $500,000 to help fight the fire. So that was remarkable. But it's all the people that were just retirement, that this is everything they own in their life. They've saved their whole life to retire in this little community. And there's 200 people missing and over 50 dead as of last night. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of people. It's
just horrific.
And people are looking, like this one guy was on television looking for his mother. That's like, I think he said she was in her 80s, but she has a little bit of dementia, and he thinks that she's smart enough to get out of the house, and she got out, but no one can find her, and they don't know. I can't.
Yeah, it's really sad that like Paradise was completely wiped off the map, and
off the map. And then all the houses that were at risk. I mean, the Kardashians, all that thing in West. Where do they live? Calabasas. Westlake Village. Will Smith said their house was at risk. Lady Gaga said. Denise Richards. There are so many of them that their houses are at risk that they still don't know if they're going to survive. And it's just so horrible. I mean, it's just, I can't even wrap my head around it. I just really can't.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
People can go to your Instagram stories, and yesterday I posted a bunch of the websites to help for like the animal shelters that need, where you can bring your animals, also where you can take donated goods, so they can check out your Instagram stories.
I am going to go, when I get there, they made a list, and I'm going to buy up everything on the list that'll fit in my car that they were asking for. They were asking for sunscreen, eye drops, lip balm, and then for pets, they were asking for things, and I'm going to take it to one of the pet rescues, and I'm going to take it to the fire thing, because everybody's got to do something. I mean, it's just horrible. And I also told everybody, my friends, if anybody doesn't have a place to stay, I'll make room for you. If I can't make room for you, I'll get you a hotel down the street. I mean, everybody's got to chip in and do their part. So ask me, but in the meantime, before I go on with that, Charlie Sheen was looking for his parents. Does anybody know if he found them?
I don't know.
I don't know that he was looking for his parents, and that made me
Charlie
nervous.
Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, yeah.
Well,
he didn't know.
You mean Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen's his father.
Yeah, it's Martin Sheen, his father,
maybe
the famous
then it was
actor.
his grandparents. I don't know. It could be his grandparents, or maybe. But anyway, I don't know if they found him. And then in the middle of this, it's just so annoying. I can't. Trump tweets out. Just
really?
What a horrible human being.
He just doesn't have any compassion.
Just such a horrible human
compassion.
being. He goes, listen to this, his tweet. He blamed the fire damage on gross mismanagement of forests in California and threatened to cut off the federal funding. Just unbelievable. And the thing is, the research shows that the federal government owns all but 2% of the land. So if anybody should be protecting that land, it would be the federal government, number one. Number two, the fire rangers cannot help 80-mile-an-hour winds. It's not their fault. So while people are fleeing their houses, being burnt in their cars, losing everything, and 8,000 firefighters from all over the country are rushing trucks there, Trump is tweeting how it's their fault out there because they don't know how to keep the land safe. You know, something's wrong with him. Something is just totally wrong with him.
There's a disconnect when it comes emotionally and sympathetically.
It's not even just emotional. He's just mean at his core. Mean. He just wants to blame and attack anybody that he can. And then something in my eye. And then there was. And then later, somebody from his staff obviously got his phone and they tweeted this, "Oh, we're with you." And it was all proper grammar with proper periods and proper everything. So we know he didn't tweet it. So it was just unbelievable.
Well,
I can't.
Plus, I saw this morning, I mean, they haven't had rain since the spring.
That's what this lady now is saying.
There's an 8-year drought.
Marcella Baradi
They're in an 8-year drought.
Just put on your comment saying, plus, we haven't had rain since the spring. So,
the local power company, I saw, also said they were having problems with their equipment the night that the fire started. So they're thinking that could have been the cause.
Well, the other thing, well, maybe that was the cause. They didn't get to it fast enough,
Correct.
But it wasn't the cause of it. But the thing is that, you know, the climate in California is 2 degrees higher than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And the governor of California last night was saying on the news that it's estimated to be another 0.5% higher in short order. And when that happens, what we see now is just a preview of how it's going to be at I mean,
imagine in a decade. I mean, they're like tornado fires.
And no one's even talking about the climate is getting hotter and hotter and hotter,
right.
And the fossil fuels are burning off the ozone layer, and that we have a lot we could do. They're trying right now, the federal government, Trump, is trying to deregulate the car emissions. Well, I remember when I used to be in California back in my 20s, when I worked out there, that we would have to wear mask around our face when we went out in the daytime, and our eyes would be watering, would be coughing and hacking because you couldn't see anything. There was so much car emission in the air. And they cleaned all that up, and now you can see from my house all the way downtown or all the way to the Pacific Ocean, to the ocean. And now they want to deregulate that. So if they do that, it's just going to make it worse. I mean, I just don't understand the mentality of a guy that's supposed to be leading the country to be stomping on people when they're down. He's just a nasty, mean guy. I'm sorry. Right. Ask me, and oh, by the way, Sandy said that Lavernia, Texas sent 4 fire trucks with 6 people each, 24 people. And Joe, who's an ex-fireman, their son-in-law is the next on standby to go if they send more. And they've got 8,000 trucks from, I wrote it down, I can't even tell you, but it's like so many states. I'll get to it and I'll tell you, like several states, 10, 12 states have sent trucks and they got 8,000 people there. Mm-hmm. And everyone's trying to help while the President of the United States, the illegitimate President of the United States, is sending off these nasty tweets about it's your fault and we're not giving you any more federal money. I can't anymore with him. I'm just like sick of him. Instagram, ask me anything. Avalone says, is there corruption in the Florida election? And have you and your wonderful husband suggested to Florida replace the voting system? Well, the judge said that there's no corruption and fraud. And the federal judge said that. And the elections supervisor, Republican, said there's no fraud. But what they're trying to do is make it look like there's fraud. And that comes from Rubio, empty suit senator that I can't with him. And then you got Scott, who's the governor, who just now recused himself only because he thinks he can win, who's been manipulating and fighting and going to court and lying and making false accusations about. Bill Nelson, an astronaut, has a sterling reputation. Not one person's ever made a nasty remark about him, whether you like him, vote with him, or don't. He's an honorable guy. An astronaut. Mm-hmm. He could have gone out and got millions of dollars of endorsements after getting off the moon. What does he do? He wants to be in the U.S. Senate to help people. This Scott is slamming him, and he's lying, and he's fraudulent, and this. So they're just trying to drag them into the mud. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Scott is just a watered-down Trump.
He's horrible, and he's made $238 million since he got in the governor's house. I mean, if you're making that kind of money as a governor of Florida, somebody should investigate that. That is just not normal.
Yeah, if you know where he made his money, he defrauded Medicare, and then he pled the Fifth. And he also made, they said, $500 million, $500 million on one transaction that they wouldn't disclose to the public.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was a CEO of the company that defrauded the Medicaid, and then when he did his deposition, he said over 200 times he didn't recall, didn't remember, didn't know anything about it, and then he took that money that he made from that and he used it to launch his governorship, and then he profited another $200+ million. So I don't understand why anybody would vote for him, except that some people are just always going to vote Republican. And then as far as the question about should they replace the voting system, well, I just heard on the news this morning the reason they're having problems in Palm Beach or Orange, was it Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale, is the voting systems are just, they're running them 24/7, and they're shorting out. They're putting too much pressure on them to run them so fast to try to get it done by this deadline, because they had twice as many people vote in this midterm as they've ever had before. They tried to be prepared for it, but the voting machines can only take so much. And there were 20,000 votes that looks like people voted for everything on the ticket but not the senator's race. So they're trying to determine if that was because they didn't see it on the ballot, it was kind of way down in the left corner, the only one on that page or that column, or if it's because the voting machines didn't pick up the votes. So that's called an undervote. So they're just trying to get to the bottom of it while you've got the governor yelling and screaming fraud. I mean, what a jerk. I can't. Are you close with Joanna, and are you not friends with Adriana? Yes, I'm close with Joanna, and no, I'm not friends with Adriana. That was from Foxheart Bears. Carrie, I wanted to Carrie Heffelman. I love you, Leah. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Andrea, besides the fabulous Lunch with Leah, what are your favorite podcasts? Well, of course, Watch What Crappens, Dumb Gay Politics, Sip and See, Pink Shade, Andy's Girls, Juicy Scoop. I like them all, and I love all the political ones. Oh, my God. Noah, MNYC something. Will Real Housewives of Miami ever come back? I miss Freda. Well, the show's still going on at my house. They're just not filming it. Nothing's changed. They're just not filming it at my house. Now, as far as the other girls, who knows what they're doing? We're probably reinventing themselves once again.
Freda has a show without a camera.
Yeah, exactly. Omar asked, why don't I do the charity? I do the charity, and we do a lot of other charitable things like tents for Puerto Rico, and we do a lot of charitable things, but I haven't done the gala because I'm just not going to pay $400,000 for the talent. So when I get a free talent again, I'll do it, and I'm digging every day. Because we got all that talent all those years for free, except for Aretha, and one time we paid Patti LaBelle a small amount.
Everybody wants to get paid now.
And everybody wants to get paid. They become a cottage industry because everybody in Miami's, this is a way to get my picture in the paper.
Yeah, it's because everybody's
I can make a little money, and then they pay everybody.
It's a charity every week.
It's a charity a day. There's 10 a day here. We were climbing trees for pond fronds to put on the tables to save money, and you see these other charities pick up the phone. I'll take $500, $100 centerpieces for my tables, please. And we're like, oh, no wonder that they think it's so easy to do a charity. They're not digging for it like we do. Oh, I'll pay this talent, and then they spend all the money on the party. I like you on flipping out. Why were you laughing while there was a distraught woman in the back during last night's clip? That was not a good look. Sandra Dodge. I saw that too, and that's just not my recollection. What I think was happening, we had, oh my God, I mean, you got to watch next week. Jenny had gotten out of the car, and I don't even know. Away. I don't think this was shown on the next week clip.
I think there was a segment being played.
She got out of the car and ran out to get something. No, that was a different one for the phone. I'm talking about another one for next week. She had gotten out of the car, they were fighting, and she had ran out on the street.
And she almost got hit.
And they just showed the clip, but it's not in the thing because I asked them if it was in there. And so she ran out, and I ran after her to see. I thought she was mad and just leaving, but what had happened, she had left Jeff's notebook, his business file, in the restaurant, and she had gone back to retrieve it. But we all thought she was so mad she had just left. So I ran after her. And what would happen is we were laughing and cutting up in the car and cracking jokes, and then they got in that fight and she started crying. But the way they put it together, it made it look like I was laughing while she was crying. But if I wasn't laughing while she was crying, it'll all play out next week. You'll see. But anyway,
they
even
always
if I
do
was
that
laughing,
to get people to watch.
Yeah, if I was laughing while she was crying, then I didn't know she was crying at the time.
Well, I'm looking forward to
Sandra.
Next week's episode.
Next week is going to probably be the big finale. Sandra, and you'll hear about it on the radio on Friday. Tune in. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Here's the difference between me and the rest of them. I don't have a dog in the fight. I can just tell you the truth. I can just tell you exactly how I see it. It doesn't matter. They're both my friends. I like them both. They both did some good things and they both did some bad things. So that's that. Chickadee. What is your countertop in the kitchen that Jeff Lewis is working on and flipping out? Oh my God. Well, inside I did it in all white. It looks like this because they had that marble. That marble did make me dizzy. I don't like that busy thing. But it was gray, so he was okay with that part of it. But now it's all solid white. So that's what we did. And I forget what it's a fake marble, but it's more expensive than marble because it doesn't leave rings on it. Housewives Forever, what was your house or anyone you know affected by the fires? Listen, my neighbors that I do talk to, the one I don't, the crazy lady on the one side, that nut job, but all the others said there are embers in their pools and embers on the furniture and embers on their car. Brendan said he had embers on his car and that the smoke is in the air, but not so much lower down, so it's not affecting your breathing, but you can see it in my neighborhood. But that's as of now. I told Roy, we have to monitor these fires before I get on the plane. If it's dangerous, I'm not getting on the plane. Let's see. What will you be doing for the holidays? From Michael 2322. Well, I'm going to visit LA if the fires allow it. And I'm going to chill out because it'll be the first time I go there where I don't have any construction going on since I've moved into that house. But I'll be putting up the Christmas tree and I have no help. So you know how that's going to go. Okay, so before we get into royalty news, let's take a 30-second break.
Okay.
Well, Prince Charles, this is hilarious, is saying that he will refrain from speaking his mind on political issues. When he succeeds Queen Elizabeth. Now, there's some people are wondering if he's going to succeed Queen Elizabeth. She may want to put Harry in, or what's his name?
I don't even know
Prince
that's
William
ever going to happen.
I don't know. She's 100 and something. Roy says they'll definitely put him in. There's no way they're going to snub over him, but I don't know. I don't know. And he's supposed to be neutral. But the one thing he will talk about, this isn't the article I thought it was, is climate change. He doesn't consider that to be political. And I don't either, by the way. I think that's just we're going to burn the planet up or we're not.
That's smart people versus stupid people.
Yeah, exactly. We're either going to burn it up or we're not.
Science doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It's going to happen anyway.
It's going to happen. You know, I remember Bernie Sanders saying, I was never a big fan of his, even though I do like some of the things he likes, but not all of them. He's a little out there, but I remember him saying that, the planet's not going to be inhabitable for the next generation if we don't do something about it. And I'm telling you, if you go back and you watch those 2 films that Al Gore made, he predicted all of this exactly and showed pictures of what it was going to be like, and it's exactly what's happening. And he, at the time, said 20 years, and the last one said 10 years, and it's happening. People are not paying attention. Oh, and then apparently poor Meghan was denied the original tiara that she wanted for her wedding. And the Sun said that Harry was very upset when she couldn't have the first choice. And then later, it turns out that Eugenie wore it. So I don't know if that's true or not. But
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. That sounds gossipy. But maybe Eugenie had always said she wanted to wear that one, and then the Queen knew it and said no. I don't know. Who knows? When you're fighting over tiaras, I mean, really? We're going to fight over tiaras? My big decision today is what jewelry to put on. And then Meghan says that Harry is a stickler about turning all the lights off at night. And his dad taught him his whole life, we don't waste energy, we don't waste electricity. Turn all the lights off. I do too. I do the same thing.
I notice you do that all the time.
I do it too because I just feel it's an abuse of why are we using this electricity when we don't need it? Why are we draining resources that we don't need to drain? So, I mean, I'm not Abraham Lincoln sitting there with a candle reading at night, but we don't just leave the lights on randomly. Well, it's true. So anyway, she's now picked up the habit, and everybody should pick up the habit. Every little thing matters. Remember my tagline? I try to live my life like everything matters because I think it does. I think it matters if you turn the lights off. I think it matters if you lie about somebody. I think it matters if you throw plastic into the thing. You notice I have my metal straw. I think it matters if you get a straw. I take these in my purse. I don't like to use the plastic straws when I don't have to. I think all these things matter. I think it matters when Trump sends out a tweet when firefighters are sitting there fighting and away from their families and demoralizes them, saying that it's their fault. I just feel that everything you say and do matters, you know? And then Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade had a baby girl. Good for them. Apparently, I think she's a surrogate. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. Then the Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry was taken off at a stretcher at Madison Square Gardens after performing with Billy Joel, and I don't know what the update on that is, but we hope he's
also,
okay.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Then I read Kelly Clarkson on The Voice. It's getting $14 million a season. That's a lot. You know what? She deserves it. She deserves it, because if you think about taking out 2 or 3 months of your life, she could make that on a tour in 2 weeks. So I don't know, it's a lot, but I think she deserves it.
Wow.
The Voice is a hit show. They won the Emmy for
the People's Choice.
People's Choice for most competition. What was it called?
It was Best Reality
Competition.
Yeah.
Now I still haven't watched House of Cards. I am watching Donovan. It's so good. And I'm watching The Voice.
I gave up on Donovan last season because it was so depressing and it
good
was so
right
dragged
now.
out.
Oh my God,
I used to love it.
It's really good. It's really, get back in it. And Jason said House of Cards is good. I'm going to watch that. Oh, in Miami housewife news, Joanna Krupa has taken to Instagram to confirm that she's launched a new business venture, a line of dog accessories called KRUPAWS, KRUPAWS. Well, that's cute.
It's really cute.
I'm extremely excited to introduce you to my launch of my own line of pet products, she says. She is an animal activist. She always has been, and good for her. I'll order something. Baby, what do you need? You need a collar.
Look at his little face.
Look at that little boy.
You know, I was sitting at my desk for the H&M Moschino launch the other day because they had little dog beds and little outfits for the day. It was sold out before I could get one.
Good. Because James wanted me to buy a $1,400 Versace dog bed on your drug.
These were like
what are you smoking?
$50, $100.
Are you, how much?
They were like 50 or 100.
Well, you're vaping, okay? She said she has going to have little doggy bottles of water that you attach to the bowl for easy storage, a collar, lights for when you walk them at night. It's going to be cute. Anyway, whatever, Joanna. Whatever you do, I'm there. Go for it. Just, she'll be modeling that shit in a bikini.
Naked.
She'll be strutting down the thing with that dog on a leash, and she'll be wearing a bikini with all that hair and all that stuff. Yeah, she's really pretty down to earth. I'm just giving her a hard time. Joe DiGiudice filed a last-minute appeal anyway, asking for an appeal on his decision to be deported. And Teresa says she will not be joining him if he gets deported. That a lot of families don't live together. Well, they've had a lot of experience of not living together.
I was just about to say.
2 years for her.
Yeah, I was just about to say exactly what you just said.
4 years for him. They 6 years of not living together. I guess it's possible. Candy Burris found a surrogate to carry her a baby, apparently, according to U.S. Weekly. Oh my God, I watched Orange County the other night. I mean, God, these girls on there, I can't. And apparently now...
The geriatrics versus the youngsters.
It was funny. But apparently now, I guess, Shannon has had it with Tamara, and they're not going to be friends anymore. How many times have we heard this? So let's see what happens.
Well, I don't think Shannon's talking to any of them now.
I don't know. She was talking with Vicky still. I don't know. Vicky's changed her tune. She tries to keep peace a little bit more now than she used to. I guess she's just over the fighting. I don't know. Maybe she just wants to keep the show together because she's smart. I mean, you can only fight so much, and people are like, I don't want to watch that anymore. And then there's a psychedelic drug on track that's getting approval from the FDA for psychopsilocybin mushrooms. Did you guys ever drink any of that psychopsilocybin mushroom stuff?
No.
Have you ever heard of it?
Never. No.
So when I was in California, I mean, I probably was like 20 years old, and they were all drinking psychopsilocybin mushroom stuff, and it's like a high. I mean, it's kind of like a mild form of LSD or something. So this nurse comes over, she goes, "Oh, I made us some psychopsilocybin tea," and I'm like, "I'm not drinking that. I'm afraid of it." She goes, "No, I'm a nurse. I work at the hospital. I know exactly how to make it. I just made a little bit." I literally had like 2 sips of it just to see what happened, and I was tripping for like 20 hours. I was just miserable.
That would scare the hell out of you.
It scared the hell out of me, and that was my lesson. It's like, I don't care how natural it is. It comes out of the ground. I don't care if a doctor prescribes it. I don't care how safe it is. I don't want this feeling
I
ever
have to be in
again.
control.
It was horrible. And she drank a whole cup of it, and she was as happy as she could be. I mean, I literally had a couple of sips, and I was just like, oh my God. Anyway. Oh, and then in good news, this little man's wife's in a nursing home. She had a little stroke, I think, and an aneurysm, and they have a donut shop. And so he started, the community found out that every day after he finished selling his last donut and cleaning the shop, he was going to take care of her in the nursing home. They started lining up at 4 in the morning and buying out all the donuts, as soon as he opened up, so he could clean the shop and go home with her. Isn't that cute? I mean, if you buying you buy like 5 dozen donuts, and I guess you just you can't eat them all. I mean, I guess some people can. Maybe you should go donate them or something. Anyway, according to a new study of the American Academy of Pediatrics, parents should not spank their children. So just in case you're a spanker, stop it. They say it's not good. And Victoria's Secret said they weren't going to have any transsexuals in their show because their show's supposed to be a fantasy, and they got a big backlash about that.
Yeah, they did.
So now they've backtracked it a little bit. But, I mean, I don't know why would they care if they have a transsexual in there. Who cares? I mean, who knows? Who knows? What,
They're just looking at the bodies.
Tattoo that says I'm a transsexual?
Exactly.
I mean, who
Right.
cares?
How would
And
they
who
know?
knows?
You've got comments coming in. People are saying, Diane Anderson says, "Hi, Leah. I think you're awesome."
Who says that? Oh, okay.
Nancy C. Carver says she loves Little Black. Anna Tempesta says, "How is the dog doing today?"
He's just sitting there with his
Elinette
new toy that James bought him.
It's bigger than he is.
Bigger than he is.
Elinette Ruiz Portela says, "Hi, Leah. Love the outfit. Is that a scarf? It's
This
fabulous."
is a McQueen scarf. Yes, it is.
And everyone's just talking about how great you look and
How
they hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Oh, crowds in Berlin placed flowers at the remains of the Berlin Wall on the 29th year anniversary. So I saw they had little strips of flowers in the lining where the wall used to be. And I was thinking, they were celebrating 29 years later from, what was his name, Reagan, saying, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, while Trump is building a human wall with our troops at the cost of $6.1 million a day, while those troops were sitting on the border. And they said, you know, what I don't understand is why didn't they're right there, send them to help with the fires. Send them to help with the fires.
That's such a brilliant point.
Such a dummy. It's just so, they're there. They're right there.
Yeah.
Just go help with the fires.
Yeah, he hasn't even brought up the caravan
Oh, no,
since Tuesday of
he
last
has not
week.
brought up the caravan once since the thing, and he tweeted about it 46 times
Yeah.
before the election.
And the
What
New York
a
Times did
stunt.
like a 14-page expo on
They're
it.
saying it's a $200 million stunt.
Yeah.
Why not send those people? There's so much they could do. They could help rebuild the communities. They could help get people that are sick to the hospitals. They could help deliver food. They could help build the
give
trenches.
universal health care.
They could help with the fire. I'm talking about the troops.
Yeah.
They could help dig trenches to stop the fire. They could help the firefighters.
Exactly.
There's a million things they could do.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there like a human border wall at $6 million a
Waiting.
day
For what?
for a political stunt, so Trump could get it all. Remember on that radio show, the first thing they brought up was that caravan. I'm like, why are we wasting airtime on that? It's just a stupid idea, costing $200 million so far, $6 million a day, and nobody cares anymore. It was just a stunt. And now these poor little soldiers are not even going to be home for Thanksgiving, because they're sitting there bored to death. What are they doing? Playing video games? I don't know. Chess? I don't know. Oh, my God, I can't. Anyway, on CNN reports that a U.S. citizen at 106 years old, she finally became a citizen from El Salvador. She's been trying to get her citizenship all those years. She's 106 and she finally got it. Well, God bless her. And on a Philippine flight, a mom ran out of formula, and an airline stewardess who had just had a baby breastfed the baby. Isn't that cute?
I saw that.
Aww. When I went
Okay.
to France with RJ and we got stuck over there during 9/11, I couldn't make any milk either, and I don't know why, but I had packed like 100 bottles of milk in a suitcase and checked it for no reason because I was breastfeeding. But I was just like, what if something happens and I can't make milk? What if I get stuck over there? I was just so paranoid, and then I used all that milk. That's just so weird. Anyway, so then, a landlord, Newsweek reports a landlord found a 7-foot alligator in a hot tub while he was trying to evict the tenant, and the tenant had put this alligator in there and named him Catfish. I mean, who would have a tenant in their house that would want a 7-foot alligator?
Who lives with a 7-foot alligator?
Oh. And then there's, with all these shootings, I did a little research, and the things that they tell you to do to avoid, to have your best chance of surviving these shootings. Be aware. Make a mental plan when you walk in somewhere. You know what? I do that. When I go to the movie, I look for the exits. When I'm driving down the street, I look to see who's around me. I do make a mental note. Know what to look for. If something appears suspicious, question it. Notice if people are dressed like in winter clothes in the summer, or they have big, huge capes or something, to see if they're hiding something under their clothes. Report anything suspicious. Remain calm. Trust your instincts. Run if possible. Before calling 911, you run if there's an incident, and then you call 911. Hide if you can't get out, but part of that problem, remember at Pulse nightclub, they hid in those bathrooms, and they were all slaughtered. That's where they got them. So I don't know, I can't, it's just too much. And to get low to the ground in a fetal position, and as a last resort, you fight back. And don't be curious, don't try to see what's going on, just get the hell out. So I'm going to give you that advice to pass on to everybody you know, because now you got to look at the shit we got to worry about. You got to worry about the fires. You got to worry about the guns. You got to worry about bombs coming in the mail. You got to worry about the climate change. You got to worry. I mean, it's just so much to worry about anymore. But according to that thing on the news this morning, just go out and bird watch. Just going to go bird watch. The CBD is reporting that cigarette use is the lowest amongst American adults since 1965. Well, that's very good.
Vaping's up 3,000%.
Yeah, the vaping's up, and people are dying from that. So, you see my bitch sign? I got a bitch necklace on today. Oh, I guess I am. Self-explanatory. Las Vegas air traffic controller was slurring their words. Did you hear this? No. Was the only one on duty and slurring their words, and finally just goes silent, and the next guy comes in on the shift. They were drunk and just passed out. So now they're going to change.
Where was that?
In Las Vegas. So they're going to change their policy and have 2 people on at all times, and not let one person leave till the other one's been on duty at least 45 minutes to make sure that they're mentally. You can't have one air traffic control in the middle of the night. It was in the middle of the night. Whatever. I can't. Now here's a good one for you. This woman was paralyzed because she was capulated from the bed during sex, and she was paralyzed, and so she went to court, and the whole gory details came out. She was having oral sex with this guy, and something happened, and she hopped up and fell off the bed and hurt her back, and it just went on. And she had a spinal cord injury, and she was trying to sue the bed manufacturer, and the bed manufacturer goes, "It wasn't the bed, it was the way you were having sex." I mean, I can't even believe people. Anyway, she lost the suit. Oh, and then in good news, a homeless man in Melbourne used his grocery cart to help police officers that were being attacked by terrorists. He ran his golf cart into them, and now they had a GoFundMe, and it was up to $80,000 for the guy. Isn't that great?
Wow.
I know. Oh, my God. Anyway, this is sad. There's a photographer that works for CNN that makes a project out of twice a year for 3 minutes. The U.S. and Mexican borders have agreed to let immigrants see and hug their family for 3 minutes. And this photographer's been documenting it. So you imagine?
Wow.
So they've got, you're on one side, your family's on the other. For 3 minutes, twice a year, you get to hug and talk to your family. That just is just.
What? That sounds so weird.
So it's weird. Well, it's because they won't let them across the border, so they came to this agreement to let them do that. At least something. It's so sad.
Because
so
just
terrible.
to torment him. I mean.
Meanwhile, the richest families in America, the Koch brothers, saved $109 billion. Or was that? I haven't read my glasses. That can't be right. $10 billion on their tax deal. The Marx brothers saved, they paid $2.63 million in 2018. They paid $72 billion. So they're worth $72 billion. The Waltons in 82 were worth $1.1 billion, and now they're worth $169 billion. And the median household has gone down from 82 to 2008, 3%. So all these billionaires are now worth 10 to 30 times more than they were in 1982, while the average person's income is down 3%, and we're giving them tax cuts. I am livid over those rich people's tax cuts. I mean, maybe we benefited in some way. I don't know or not, but whatever it was, it wouldn't be worth it to me. It's just horrible. I doubt it because we're not in the billionaire status. Yeah. Well, I mean, I might be. I just don't know about it. If I am, I'll keep that to myself. I don't want to be seen braggadocious. Anyway, let's see. Let's pass on this. We're running out of time here. 700,000 lesbians and gays and bisexuals and transgender adults have undergone conversion therapy at some point in their lives. 350,000 of them received treatment as adolescents. So 700,000 people have gone through conversion therapy not to get transgender or gay or lesbian. What is wrong with people? What did that cost and the damage that it did?
Exactly. That new movie's been getting a lot of...
Oh, that new movie. Yeah, I want to see that.
Everybody's been raving about it.
I want to see. I want Mike Pence to see that. I want him to sit there and suffer through. I think something's weird about him.
I agree. I get weird vibes.
Really pushing for that conversion therapy stuff, and so subservient to Trump, and oh my God, it's something weird about him. I'm telling you. In the Republic of Congo, they have another Ebola breakout. Over 200 people have died, and they have 330 more confirmed reports. The hate crime has gone up over the last 4 years, 17%. Well, let's just coincidentally say that 4 years ago, Trump started running for president. You connect the dots if you want to. I'm not going to. I went to see the Girl in the Spiderweb movie. It was good. I didn't think it was great, but it was good. But I love that clairvoyant.
I love it.
The People's Choice Awards, the Avengers Affinity War, The Spy Who Dumped Me, they won. The female movie star Scarlett Johansson, I know some gossip about her. Chadwick Boseman, the competition The Voice, the nighttime talk Jimmy Fallon, the album female artist Nicki Minaj. That's a shocker for me. Doesn't she mostly do rap?
Well, that's what it is. I mean, it's
how did she get the album and the female artist of the year?
Well, because she did a rap album and a hip hop album, but it's part of the genre.
I get it, but you compare that to Barbra Streisand's voice.
Yeah, but remember, the people vote.
I know.
Not the artist.
Blake Shelton won the male of the year performer. Taylor Swift won the concert of the year. Well, I guess Kanye was not there to take that from her. And Victoria Beckham won the fashion award of the year. Yeah. Melissa McCartney won the People's Choice of the year. You know what? The person of the year. I think Victoria Beckham does have exquisite style.
Beautiful taste.
She is, to me, she's elevated the old Audrey Hepburn classic, iconic, elegant, tailored look. She's one of my favorite designers, but you have to be razor thin to wear those dresses. So therefore, I don't have any. Listen to this. What is wrong with people? Either you're bored, sick, or just fucked up. A 50-year-old woman was given 7 charges on Monday for lacing strawberries with needles in a food scare that panicked Australia since September, according to Reuters. So 200 complaints were made of sewing needles being found in strawberries and other fruits. It hurt the $116 million strawberry industry after consumers avoided the fruits at the supermarket. Some began dumping the fruits because it caused a widespread bankruptcy with some of these strawberry companies. What is wrong with people? Why would you run around and put needles in fruits? What is something going on that I don't know about? I can't. Oh my God. Oh, I can't. Our top Facebook fans, before we get into politics, I'm going to just tell you the ones that have been with us from day one. Jacqueline Tepper, Billy Zachary, Suzanne Salander, Marita Makita, Mary Badman, Margaret Seligoff, Emily Dodery, Marcella Barati, and Joanne Bivelo. Oh, Joanne from Canada. Mm-hmm. These are the ones that interact the most with us on Facebook, Twitter, and watch the show the most. So thank you all very much. That's our top 10. So anyway, you're in our top 10. You better go out and recruit and tell some more people. We need to get a top 100.
That's right. Make sure they share.
They always engage, comment, and share their thoughts with us. You need to share our everything with everybody. So for our Black Friday special, for our Thanksgiving special, when you place your order, if you mention Lunch with Leah podcast, or you can just say podcast, because you ordered from between now and the end of this month, right?
Well, it's through Cyber Monday, starting today through Cyber Monday.
Okay, through Cyber Monday, we are going to throw in a free exfoliant for you, which at a wholesale is a $29 value, $39 value. Sorry, $29. Okay, so and we have free shipping on orders over $75. So we will count that in the amount as though it was a purchase. So you're going to probably get a lot of free shipping extra too. And then you got to post us and tell us how much you love it and how great it is. And by the way, let me remind you, we've got a new distribution agreement going, and we've been letting everybody buy our products at wholesale in the U.S. because internationally they all buy wholesale and then they go market way up. So starting the first year, everyone's going to pay retail. But if you are in our system, we will give you a code and you will be grandfathered into our wholesale prices from now on. So you've got to order something before the end of the year to get on that code. So order something, anything, I don't care, as long as your name's in the computer. Our quote of the day, before we get into politics: being in denial does not change the facts. There you go.
That is obvious.
That's obvious.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now, my tweets. I've been tweeting about politics a lot lately. I've lost a few followers because of it, but you know what? You got to stand for something. So, what I want you guys to do is, if you like politics, engage with me on Twitter. If you don't, listen anyway. I'm going to clear up some things for you right now, and then you can agree or disagree. Snipes, in Palm Beach, they said there were 58,000 absentee ballots in heavy Democratic Broward County that were lost in 2016. So they said that their office destroyed 6,000 ballots after a judge ordered them not to. So in 2016, that was the hanky-panky going on with the Republican Party. But you didn't hear Obama running out and screaming fraud and the rest of it. But they did, according to the facts. 58,000 absentee ballots in heavily Democratic Broward County were lost in 2016. I don't think that would have changed Florida from red to blue, but it makes you wonder what all the other Republican secretaries of states were doing in their cities. And so there you go. And by the way, this woman that they're all criticizing in Palm Beach, saying that, you know, she's helping steal the election. She was appointed by Jeb Bush, Republican, when he was governor. So there you go on that one. And then I want to tell you something else before I get into that. This is, I missed that already. Let's go to the election. The election. Well, apparently Nancy Pelosi is going to be Speaker of the House again, even though there's going to be some opposition. Apparently, on the recount, the 8 million votes in Florida, Nelson's only 0.15 behind. Apparently, Gillum has now said, I'm going to come out and fight it, and at least make sure every vote is counted, and I'll accept the results. I will say this about DeSantis: at least he's not making a fool of himself. He's just shutting up and letting them count the votes, which is what they should be doing.
I also thought that was a good point.
That was a classy thing to do. And Scott is just acting like the thug that he is, just fighting and rabble-rousing, and finally recusing himself after fighting for 2 weeks. Everybody, it's just unbelievable. But listen, the good news is that we picked up. They think projecting maybe 37 seats in the House, so there's going to be some accountability going on now in Washington. It was a blue wave. It wasn't reported that night because we had only had like 30 seats, but now we're going to be up to 37. All the California seats seem to be flipping. So there you go with that. But let's talk about when Trump went to France. He went to France and didn't show up because of the rain. Now he's saying the Secret Service said, well, he couldn't fly in the helicopter. Well, everyone else managed to drive the 50 minutes there but him. But he said he was so special, he needed so much security, the motorcade couldn't do it. Well, the experts that have worked at the White House and for the Secret Service in the past have all said there's always a rain plan. Just like we had the charity. We always had a rain plan for a charity. Yeah. So you know they had a rain plan. He didn't want to go. He was mad and he was pissed off. So what did Macron do? Because, you know, Trump recently announced that he's a nationalist. So Macron made him a speech and just basically came out and said patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. He said that in front of all the world leaders as they commemorated the anniversary of World War I's end. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism by saying, our interests first, who cares about the others? And he went on to talk and educate Trump on history. I don't think Trump understands history. He said, old demons are coming back to the surface, Macron said, citing dangerous resurgence of ethnic and religious and hatred that led to the devastating conflict, the cataclysmic global war that followed 3 decades later. So, I mean, most historians will tell you that nationalism is what started those wars because people were put us first, we're better than you, leave our country, and you're a Jew and you shouldn't be here, or now it's you're a Mexican and a rapist and you shouldn't be here, or you're Muslim and you shouldn't be. Same thing, different group of people. His address reflected the widespread anger concerning the in Europe about Trump's belligerent rhetoric and policies that have put his administration at odds with America's closest allies and challenged the alliances and institutions built to ensure peace since the end of World War II. Trump's go-it-alone approach on climate change, the Iran nuclear deal trade, among other issues, was symbolized when he walked apart from the dozens of other world leaders who marched together under black umbrellas in the rain-soaked Champs-Élysées for the Armistice Day ceremony. So he showed up for that one because he got so much criticism for not showing up for the reason he went there.
Exactly.
The only 2 world leaders that didn't show up were him and Putin. All the others showed up. And then did you notice that when Putin walked in, everyone kind of stunned him with a stoic face, and then Trump just lit up like he had a heart on. I'm not kidding you. It was just... and he shook his hand.
He was so happy to see his old friend.
I was so happy to see his old friend, and he got a thumbs up from Putin, like, good job, my employee, good job.
You have a question from Rachel McMahon. She says, what do you think Nancy Pelosi needs to do going forward to engage with the American public? She said she likes her, but she has been a decisive politician.
The problem with Nancy is not Nancy. The problem with Nancy is the Republicans did the same thing to her they did to Hillary for 30 years. Yeah. They don't like a strong woman, number one, and they don't like her politics, number two, so they've demonized her. So she has a reputation that is not consistent with who she is. She's actually a very highly educated master legislator that is very pragmatic and very to the point, and she keeps that caucus in order. So she's just a symbol for what the Republicans don't like. If they really... I guarantee the Republicans in Congress like her, they like working with her, but they started this whole movement to try to destroy her and tear her down years ago, and a bunch of it stuck. She's one of the most moderate, pragmatic politicians in Washington, but they can't stand that woman having that gavel. You know what she said when she first started, and she was when she was being nominated to be Speaker of the House? The Republican men, the Democratic men just said to her, well, you know, why don't the women, if they want to be represented, just give us men a list of what they want done and we'll get it done. And so she stood up, she won, she fought, and she's battle tested, and they need experience right now. And why divide the party right now? They need to shut up and just let her do her job. I mean, someone said that she's the strongest general that we have, and we need the best tactician, we need the best organized, and there's no one that comes close, according to Adam Schiff. So, you know, now the Republicans all of a sudden are talking about bipartisan. Well, I'm wondering if they're going to be bipartisan or if they're just going to obstruct. Well, let's see. You guys wouldn't let them put any judges on the court for after 2 years. You shoved Kavanaugh down everybody's throat. You wouldn't let them Garland have a hearing. So who are the obstructionists? I can't even believe these people. It's just too much. And then it just goes on. I want to keep on the front page, and I don't want to forget about that little Khashoggi. Apparently, Turkey released the tape to 13, 17, 16, whatever, world leaders that have all heard that tape of him. Apparently he was strangled when he walked in, and then they started cutting his fingers off, and he was screaming, and then they all talked behind his back about how they were going to dismember the body. I don't want that to leave the front page. And then when Michelle Obama said she'll never forgive Trump in her new book, that he started the birther thing that put her family in danger, put her kids in danger, and put herself and her husband in danger. And so what does Trump do when he's asked about it? And he goes, well, how do you feel about Michelle Obama saying that you put her family in danger with your birther thing? He goes, well, then that she can't forgive you for it. You know what he says? I can never forgive Obama for destroying our military. Yeah. Meanwhile, the U.S. spends $611 billion a year on military. The next closest behind is $200 from China, $69 billion from Russia, $55 from India, and $48 from the UK, and $18 from Israel. So what in the hell is he talking about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Don Jr. says that he's expecting to be indicted. Well, it can't come too soon for me, but Trump's going to really have a breakdown then. They say Trump's bitter, angry, hiding out, and really he's pouting in the White House right now after losing the House, and all these indictments coming down.
Double orders of KFC going.
Oh
into
yeah,
the White House.
probably. Yeah, he's got this trouble with Pecker, where Pecker's went on the record and said he was totally involved in Stormy Daniels, knew everything about it, and was intimately involved in the payoff. He's got a problem with Michael Cohen ratting out what he's done. Michael Cohen's apparently given, I forgot how many hours, over 50 hours of testimony to the council about all the antics that Trump's pulled. He's got the New York State Attorney General on his ass for a lot of things, to include tax evasion and to include misappropriation of the charity. He's got the scandal going on where he may want to appoint Pam Bondi to an U.S. Attorney's position or Attorney General's position, where after he paid her $25,000 illegally out of the Trump Foundation charity account that he took other people's money and gave out. I mean, he's got lots of problems. The ethics committees are investigating him. And this topped it for me. Ivanka Trump applying for a trademark in China to get voting machines. Why does Ivanka Trump need access to voting machines? I can't ever get past that one. And then she made a comment the other day when someone said, what do you do in the White House? She said, oh, I use my charm and my contacts to get things done. So she uses her charm. What does she think? It's a congeniality contest and she's in the Miss Universe? I mean, honest to God. I can't with her. All right, so let's see if there's anything else we just can't not talk about. Just to finalize it, the Democrats projecting 38 net House seats. The Republicans will only pick up 1 or 2 Senate seats, with the Democrats won hundreds of state legislator seats. They had double the votes this time than last time in the midterms. Trump lost 6 million more votes in the midterms than he did in the election. At 6 million this time and 3 million in the last election, so 3 million more votes. And that's the story. So Michelle Obama's got a new book out, and that's what's going on in the world today. So I want all of you to pay attention to the news. Inform yourself. Get educated. See what people's platforms are, what they stand for, what they believe in, and go by what they do, not by what they say. Because honest to God, that Trump has a black belt in lying. He really does. He's a black belt in lying. And you notice that these other Republicans are following suit now. And I'm feeling the sense that it's all turning. Yeah. I think they're going to start jumping ship now because they know there's going to be investigations. They know he's going to be held to account. They see the public is turning against him. So I don't know how he's going to keep it together. But I think, oh, by the way, remember he was going to get a Nobel Peace Prize for Korea for that thing. And now they found 15 new sites where they're building nukes. 15 more. And Trump goes, oh, don't worry about it. If there's anything to worry about, I'll let you know. Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, this is a guy that was going, I'm going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And meanwhile, listen, they outsmarted him. North Korea just outsmarted him. They got their photo op. They got on the world stage. They got on an evil kill with other world leaders. And they got a handshake that they weren't going to do anything, and they put 15 more facilities up on Trump's running around talking about, well, I'm not saying I should get a Nobel Peace Prize, but other people are. And now this all comes out. Oh, my God. All right, everybody needs to enjoy their Thanksgiving.
Yes. Remind everybody we'll be off next week.
Off next week.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
And don't forget, you got to order something on leahblack.com, and you get the free exfoliant, a $29 value, which you're going to love. It cleans the pores. It keeps you from getting blackheads. It makes your pores smaller. It helps you, keeps you from getting whiteheads. Men love it. Teenagers love it. Women love it. Sloughs off the first layer of cells. Gives you that baby's buff face look, that shiny look. You notice my face has a glow. That's what that's from. And the reason we're doing that is because a lot of people haven't tried it, and people that try it never get off of it. And it's the highest grade of raw ingredients you will ever find at any exfoliant anywhere. It retails, actually, I want to say it retails for like $120. But in any event, there you go. You're getting it wholesale, and we're giving it to you for free, and we're going to count it in the shipping amount. So if that helps you get up to $75, you'll get the free shipping. And I'll be in LA next week. And what are you trying to say?
And next week, make sure they watch the finale of Flipping Out with you. And check Jeff's show.
Jeff's radio show, Radio Andy on Friday.
And they must mention podcast when they are placing the order.
If you don't put podcast on there or Lunch with Lee on there, we won't know to throw in the exfoliant. So have a great turkey day. You know, do something for people that have nothing. You know, just do any little thing. If you can't do a lot, do something little. You know, even dried milk for babies or pet food for pets, something for people. There's so many people right now that have nothing and that need everything, and we all have so much. I mean, not everybody has as much as everybody else, but if you have a house and a food and transportation and a job, you know what? You're one of the lucky ones. We got to help those that don't have anything. So Thanksgiving is a day about giving thanks. And I've always said that thank you and giving thanks to the universe is your multiplying power. And I really believe that. And the more thanks you give, the more the universe is going to send your way. Speaking of giving thanks, let me give thanks for Little Black. Aww. How cute is he? Honey, what's wrong with you today? He's been so quiet. All right, guys, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Please share this with as many people as you can. I need to build an audience. Otherwise, I'm just going to get hoarse talking to myself. I'll see you guys a week after next. Bye. Hi, sweetie.